Maud, is that you? Are we dead?
Afraid so, Myrtle. What's that light? Is that heaven?
No, you old bat. Why, that's clearly... Well, I'm not quite sure what that is, but... Oh, never mind. Just go ahead and tell the story.
Okay, if you insist. During one moonless night, a blinding light broke out into the valley below, and soon after a stream of smaller lights followed as cars headed this way. The carnival had come to Buckeye. Tent after tent popped up.
Its owner and ringmaster, Mr. Hargrove, was a self-made man.
A visionary.
His business of thrills and chills was a family affair, with many of his own relatives manning the booths and the rides.
Each year, his teeny tiny outfit grew a little more. Now, a dozen years later, Hargrove's backyard project had transformed into something rare, something steeped in childhood joy.
It draws crowds wherever it goes.
Everyone is dying to get in.
Hey, you there! Step right up! Come on in!
Car after car pulled up to it, dropping off kids, dropping off families. They purchased their tickets and got into line.
While the guests waited to enter the carnival, there was Mr. Hargrove with his top hat and cane in hand, welcoming everyone to his attraction.
His dream!
One for which he spared no expense.
He smiles and waves at the little children. He possesses the charm of a politician.
But unlike a politician, he does not steal their lollipops. At the Red Carnival, popcorn flavors the air, and clowns are around every corner.
Tall ones and small ones.
Some of tonight's clowns just wandered in from the desert.
Could that be a problem?
Nonsense. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Far, far away from the popcorn, clowns, and family fun, up in the mountains surrounding Buckeye, remains the Black Forest, where monsters play hide and seek.
Come out, wherever you are.
Bloody Betty is laughing in the dark.
Next, Gormley sets his traps.
Then Dr. Katz plays with his meat puzzles.
All the while the fisherman scrapes his sharp hook against the trees and drags away stray campers.
Last, there's Halloween's most brutal psychopath, the Collins brothers, running with their chainsaws.
These escaped inmates of Darkgate Asylum are not alone in the Black Forest. Other creatures hunted here before they arrived.
Like Sister Shoestring, who wanders these dreadful woods, feeling her way in the dark, filled with regret, searching for those who wronged her.
She can never go home.
Her pale hand reaches out into the night, sometimes finding a tree trunk,
sometimes finding a neck. Down in the valley, the carnival fun has just begun. This wasn't the first spooky festival to pass through town. On a cool fall night, many, many years ago, a strange circus crawled into Buckeye.
It was a better time. Cowboys rode up to the circus on horses. 2 of these cowboys were young, Eugene and Gregory Collins. This curious pair loved magic.
Well, after all, they had their very own imaginary friend, Chuckles.
At this strange circus, they saw a strong man bend a railroad spike into a horseshoe with his bare hands.
They watched as a magician sawed a woman in half with the chainsaw.
The Collins brothers drank it all in. The shows, the food, and the danger.
However, nothing could match the big top. At this main event, the ringmaster commanded a lion to perform tricks like a dog.
Acrobats flew and flipped without a net beneath them.
Finally, there was Bruce. His poster listed him as Bruce Bullseye Malone. He can hit anything with a blade, or so it claimed.
Eugene and Gregory watched as Bruce threw his knives at a board, creating a smiley face out of them. For his last trick, Bruce asked his lovely assistant Myrtle,
"That's me,"
to stand still while holding a 2 card above her head. He flung his first knife. The crowd cheered. Myrtle let go of the card. It was now pinned to the wall behind her. Then Bruce took aim again. He stopped, wiping the sweat from his brow, shifted his stance, and threw his second dagger. The crowd didn't cheer. This intense pause continued until a single scream ran out, followed by another. Then the entire audience screamed and stampeded for the exit.
Maud, the animal wrangler,
"That's me!"
tried to calm the crowd, but they trampled her. Then someone slammed into the fire breather, catching the tent on fire.
The guests panicked. Bruce missed his mark and impaled poor Myrtle directly in the head, giving her a headache to last into afterlife.
Oh, brother, you ain't a kiddin'. Still in their seats, young Eugene and Gregory Collins remained silent until they heard a terrible snap.
Like a tree branch or a broken arm.
It shook them to their core.
Unbeknownst to them, Chuckles, their make-believe champion, had been feeding off their innocence for years, poisoning their outlook. And tonight, after witnessing that awful, violent scene, the boys' minds broke. They knew what they had to do, and nobody was going to stop them.
Chuckles led them to another tent where they discovered 2 clown masks and 2 chainsaws. The brothers started up the chainsaws and listened. They would use this terrifying sound to strike fear in their victims. For Eugene and Gregory Collins, it was all part of the show. Back to present-day Buckeye. The ground shook, and the trees swayed.
Chuckles stepped out of the black forest, leading his new pet, the Buckeye Walker, a bizarre beast with a man's scream.
Others followed them. The lunatics of Dark Gate Asylum, along with the creatures of the Black Forest, could no longer ignore the lights and laughter coming from the valley below.
Just as the monsters descended upon the carnival, a storm moved in. The thunder rolled and the lightning struck.
That's our cue. Let's go down.
After you, Myrtle.
You want to have some fun?
Oh, yes, let's do it. Come out,
wherever you are. We know where you're hiding, and we're not very far. Come out, wherever you are. There'll be no escaping. We know where you are. Welcome to the Red Dead Carnival,
where one way or another,
you'll become part of our gory story.